very much for that reaction. When you and I have run into each other a couple times during this festival, and each time I've been telling you, like, how are you feeling about it? You're like a little nervous. I was like, it's gonna play fucking huge, and you didn't seem to believe me. So I would like to very humbly say, told you so. Because I've been programming here at South by for years. When this film came in, the programming team immediately had a similar reaction here, and we all knew that this screening was going to be like a rock star performance.
Thank you. I can die now. I mean, thank you.
And so my first question for you guys is how did this come together? How did you two come together on it in particular?
Yeah, so Andrew dreamt up this crazy story, and 10 years ago I auditioned for it, and they never ended up making the movie. And I could not stop thinking about it. Every year I'd call my agents and ask them, who ended up booking that movie? Who made it? What happened to it? And I dreamt of making it myself. And so 10 years later, we're here. And brought on Michael. Michael and I worked together before on Everything Stocks and Voyeurs. And I could not trust anyone other than you to bring this to life, so thank you.
Was there a specific moment as your sort of career is rising where you're like, I want to get into producing A, and B, this is the one project? Like, what was that moment that it clicked for you?
I think I always knew that I wanted to be a bigger part of storytelling. Like, I love building my characters from the ground up, and being able to do that on a grander, more world-building scale is really, really fascinating to me. And there's so many just parts to creating what you see on screen. There's so many elements and people that come together that have to work and do their job to be able to even have an actor show up on set. And so being able to learn that process and be a part of creating that is such an amazing thing, and I'm loving it.
And when it came to reviving the script, one of the things that I love about this film is how strong the characters are, how well defined they are, even whether it's the lead or even every small role makes an impression. And I'm curious, what were the conversations with Andrew like when you were working on the script together and evolving it to what it is now?
Andrew and Mike were amazing together. I want to say thank you, first of all, for allowing me to randomly call you and say, hey, you have a script, can I have it?
I owe you thank you as well. Yeah, I mean, both of you guys, it's been such a incredible collaboration.
Thank you. But Mike he finds the depth in characters that might be overlooked by some filmmakers. And I think that you really truly care about the characters in a story. Yes, we wanted you guys all to jump out of your seats and be hopefully horrified shitless. But you still cared about the story that we were telling. And I think that that's like why I love old classic horror films. Like, there's still a story and characters and beautiful cinematography that I feel we've lost, and we wanted to give that back.
I mean, it is, I agree completely. It is an absolutely gorgeous film. Can you talk about the location work and the built-in production value that it all brings to the table?
I think first we have some serious members of our crew here. We don't have the time to go one by one, but if you worked on the film, Elijah, everybody, could you please stand up? Our production designers here. Is because, a lot of the people that I've been collaborating with since, like, Elijah, the cinematographer, he was my roommate in college. And so we've just been always trying to find ways to bring an unexpected level of beauty to things, that coupled with, Adam Reamer's incredible production design, and, we also just wanted to make a nun movie that didn't look like any other nun movies, too.
And I mean, was it always set where it ended up, or did you guys relocate? And how did things change once you landed on the locations?
Well, when Sydney auditioned, she was younger. The main character was younger. Was a teenager. The whole movie was set at a boarding school, and we kind of drew on Suspiria for some of the vibes there. It wasn't until years later that I think we really finally figured out what the movie needed to be. And you know, Mike and Sydney were integral in that, and we drew from an entirely different section of movies. We started looking at, you know, classic nunsploitation movies, The Devil's Dark Waters, and suddenly the movie knew what it wanted to be at its core. And you know, look, I'm not gonna say it wasn't hard, but it kind of wrote itself. You know, it just, you started to, the compass started to read true north in a way that felt right, and we had to work, you know, fast to get everything done. But it was, once the compass, you know, starts working, the process becomes a joy in a way that like other development just is not.
And for Alvaro and Benedetta, when you guys came on board, what were your initial impressions of the script? Were there any questions or concerns about how hardcore it gets? And how did you guide everyone on board?
Well, first of all, thank you everybody for being here, joining us. It's been like a dream being here. I know that I'm performing the bad guy, so maybe you don't love me now very much. But I love I received this call from my agent saying like, hey, Sweeney wants you to be in the movie with her. So like, I mean, are you talking about the Sweeney that I think you're talking about? Yeah. Okay, we met like 2 weeks before that in Madrid, and they called me. For me, it was a yes from the beginning. I read the script and I fell in love with it, and yeah, I'm so proud of being part of the movie, because I know it was a dream that Sweeney has to make this movie, and I'm so happy of being part of this project and you know, to collaborate a little bit to make this dream come true.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm the good girl, so. They called me, and everywhere there is a piece of cinema and talented person, I would love to join them. So it was an honor for me to be in this project. We shot in Rome, my city, so it was another reason to be happy. So thank you, Michael and Sydney, for trusting me and give me this beautiful character in this beautiful film. I'm very proud to be here. Thank you very much.
Goes so hard in this. I think a lot harder than the audience was expecting, particularly towards the end. And I'm curious, how do you keep things light on set on days when it is getting real hard?
It's easy. I mean, it's not like it's. I mean, half of it is really finicky. It's like oh, like at the end when like they're stabbing him in the neck, it's like, oh, Alvaro, the tube is going over here. Can you like hold it with your hand? You know, and it's not.
Technical.
Yeah, it's super technical, so it's always fun. I don't know, I'm just a goofball, so.
Was there any particular moment or set piece that you were building up to and you knew was like the day that you got most excited about that one thing?
The last 2 minutes. The last 2 minutes. Yeah, that was when I read when I read the first script where she was the student. When it ended, I was just like, no, I have this. I just had this vision for what that last 2 minutes would be. And then when we were on set and when we did the first take, I was like, this is exactly what was in my head. It's actually even better. And that's the take that's in the movie. Take one. But yeah, when we shot take one, and she literally, like, when you were breathing, she fogs up the lens for a bit, and then it dissipates, and it was like, oh, Couldn't have planned that.
It's such a powerful moment. Is it something that you had to strategize what day in the shooting schedule you were going to do it on? Did you do it on
No,
day
it's
one?
just the day the location was available.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking ridiculous that you can pull that out. Like, oh, today's that day. I'm just going to
It's crazy.
drop this classic moment.
You have no idea how crazy it is. Like, she just goes into it, and then she'll deliver this crazy performance, and then I'll call cut, and she'll be like, okay, can we go again? What do you think? And it's the craziest thing. So, anyway.
For the costume, I mean, obviously you're wearing a pregnancy belly of some kind, I'm assuming. But what was the rest of the wardrobe like? Was it fun to design what everything was going to look like?
It was a lot of fun. I had a little pouch inside. I had candy, lotion, a snack, and a little tape. It was great. No, but also the costumes were incredible.
You also spearheaded that, because she produced this, she was there at all of the, you hear about actors producing films, and it's like they produced the film. No, she was like on the ground, scouting locations, doing all of that, and it was such a hectic shoot that you kind of took the lead in terms of giving feedback to the costume.
Everything is custom made. It's all just dreamt up. Not one single piece was store bought. Everything was actually handmade and very particular.
Yeah.
And doing that sort of actual, real producing, like that a lot of people who take producing credits do, what did you learn from that you're like, going forward, I'm doing this one thing on every project I do?
I learned so much on Immaculate. I was able to really get to know every department on set and understand their time, their value, what they need, and how I can help them be able to do a better job. And I now and I hope moving forward, be able to understand the mechanics of a set, how they work, what does the grips need, or transpo, how can I help them, because it takes everybody. You can't just do it on your own. It's a collaboration.
We're almost out of time, but my last question, just selfishly, because this is such a fucking good horror movie and you guys are so good together, do you plan to make more horror movies?
Yeah!
Every single thing we've done together, so who knows? Maybe it's a musical.
All watch it. All right, well, that's all the time we have for the Q&A. But pull out your phones right now and vote for the QR code. Scan that QR code to vote in the Audience Award. You only have 30 minutes to do it, so do it right now. And then